Hey there, mixed veggies. I'm back from my family trip, my second family trip. I hope I saw you at Prospio because it was lit this year. I have to say, ever since I released the Emperor's High Score, I've been seeing a whole lot of really cool multi-victor games in the works. Here's just a few that I tested just like this month. Matthew Hawker's Hollow uses this high scarcity system to create like a very dark, like cutthroat experience, and I love it. He's really leaned into like the like various end states where it's not explicitly called winning. So sometimes like losing is like the player's like ideal choice depending on like their ethical system. It's like awesome. I played Brooke Barber's Sykes-Picoh, where France and Britain are divvying up territory post-war, and it uses trick-taking mechanics and map restrictions to give the players some plausible deniability, like oh, I had to take this much territory, I was forced to, and I think that whole system is really cool. My Atomis's Summoner's Dilemma is really awesome. It's like brand new. It's just had like a handful of tests and it's already amazing. Like players have to cooperate to summon out broken fragments, but they necessarily must like break that circle in order to get those fragments and repair them. It's like, it's so good. It's so spicy. It's so early in its like design phase. And then, oh my God, David Masano's Spell Week. Oh, such an emotional experience for me. Like, he took that shared living space engine and started applying some multi-victor design ethos to it. And it created like just the ideal environment for me to like relive like my overly self-sacrificial like tendencies and like open my eyes to some behaviors that I still like hold that I thought I was doing better with, and like it was genuinely therapeutic. Ever since I've been making like efforts to prioritize my needs, and oh, it's so good, so good. Like this multi-victor stuff really untapped space, like amazing. So I got a lot of testing of my own stuff done as well at Prospiel. In particular, a game I made on a whim a couple weeks ago called Vibes. My family has been curious about my games lately, and I tried to introduce persuasion to them, and they had a really hard time wrapping their heads around it, and I don't really blame them. That game has a lot going on, and it got me wishing. I really wish I had like a more approachable multi-victor game that I could share with them. And so I took Vibes and I thought, what if I made it so the people had multiple cards instead and had to have a matching set of cards? And so the game is all about swapping cards and trying to get 5 cards that are the same or 5 cards that are different. And I'm surprised. It's first of all, it's been amazing to just like be designing something for a change instead of developing it. But unfortunately, this game is like already so far along that I'm already having to develop it, which is unfortunate because like I gotta get some of these games published, y'all. But so right now I'm considering changing the art direction of it. It was based off of some like assets that I purchased off of like a website for like a match game, but what I really want to do is like I've been the whole game is about like getting a group together that you vibe with in time for art class, and so I really want to channel some like Dan Pilkey like Cat Kid Comic Club energy into it. So I'm going to put my amateur art skills into it, and I might commission some of my friends to do some art for it, but I haven't completely decided yet. I'm just like excited for it. So like part of the fun of this is that this is kind of like my first cozy game I've made. Like all of my games have been pretty high stakes like up until now, like a relationship ending fight or like a large scale famine event or like high stakes marriages. So in those kind of situations, I felt like a responsibility to make sure that if the players were playing very cooperatively, they could reach like a happy ending for everybody. Like, but the thing about like having something that's so low stakes, when it's just like a matter of like finding friends you get along with, like it doesn't feel so serious if like you got unlucky and only two people at the table could win. So in a sense, this is like one of my meanest games yet, and it's been like I've been enjoying it a lot. It's got me hungry for more approachable, cozy yet mean games. But again, I gotta publish some of these art games first before I go there. Speaking of which, I commissioned some help to edit the rulebook for Bread, and I got tested once at Prospiel, and nothing too exciting to share on that front, other than I think the rulebook is much better now, much cleaner. I just need to test it a bit more. So to that end, there's a good chance I'll be updating the prototype soon and mailing out some more copies for people to test. And if you're interested in that, let me know. Discord's a good way. Alternatively, you can sign up for my mailing list. There's even the option for putting your address in there. And just let me know in the notes that you're interested in a prototype. And yeah, I would really appreciate any sort of feedback you get from trying to follow along on the rulebook and play it. So yeah. I didn't manage to get Conviction's rulebook updated in time for Prospiel, but I have commissioned some help to develop it. So I'm really excited for that, because the fewer games I have to develop, the better. As for Unraveled, I did manage to get a system working in time, but it was very complicated and had a lot of like wonky rules, and it was too much for the players. But it did blow off the dust on my brain, and it got me thinking on it. And I came up with this system that I'm really excited to test out, where I don't have to change any of I just have to add like a tiny bit of overhead to like the original mechanics. Whenever a sleuth examines something that they're not loyal to, they have to put a little marker on it. And now whenever they take an action, the conspirator has an opportunity to react and take an additional action. Like in addition to milling cards from the deck, they could give them a card, and that card could be a bribe or, well, blackmail, extortion, that if they guess their loyalty correctly, they force them to be a saboteur, unless the sleuth hands the card back to them at a cost. So I'm really excited to try this change, because this adds like the counterplay that I was looking for. Like if a conspirator messes up, they could pivot to trying to identify like the sleuth's loyalties and force them over to their side and waste their time on that front. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, I'm hype. And the act of extorting them gives away critical information, because they're only going to have those cards for the traits that are not linked to their key evidence. So, I'm really excited to try. I got a really good feeling about it, but I haven't tested it, so. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this month. Next, I've been doing a lot of testing lately, so if that's something you're interested in, I would check out the Break My Game Discord. I'm usually bringing my games to test on Thursdays, sometimes Fridays. And otherwise, you could join my Discord. We could try to schedule an impromptu playtest, but honestly, it's a real challenge. Break My Game's kind of the best bet. But yeah. I hope you have a good one. Keep on vibing. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. I'm gonna go have some curry. I can't really walk off when I have this mic cable attached to me. Or can I? Let's try it. I can.